taking the path less traveled, how to crush it on Instagram, and the process to become an overnight success. Welcome to episode 34 with the creator of the Success Club and the co-founder of Invigorate, Alex Lombard.
You are listening to Len Jones Party of Two, where experts and influencers speak honestly and openly about their keys to success. Sponsored by TrueFace.ai, where your face is the key. For more information on TrueFace, please contact your host at ian@trueface.ai. Now, pay close attention, cause you gonna learn today.
What up, party people? How you living? How we doing? You already know it is a damn good day to have a damn good day. And you know, a common theme we talk about in this podcast is how to build your brand and begin attracting the ideal customer to you. There's a huge paradigm shift amongst marketers learning this strategy, and it's changing the game, which is so exciting because we live in a world where you can literally make a living doing whatever you want if you master the skill of building your brand and attracting the ideal customer or viewers to your program or whatever you're looking to do. And if you're new to the podcast, our mission here is twofold: to educate aspiring entrepreneurs by dissecting the come-up stories of incredible humans by extracting the golden nuggets that you can apply now to better your life. And second, to have all my friends in life that are making moves to meet my other friends in life making moves to create one giant community of extraordinary people. One of the keys to building a brand in 2019 is Instagram. I am guilty of Instagram being both my favorite and least favorite social media platform. Favorite in that I love the story feature. I love sharing my day-to-day Jones life and just having good time, good vibes. It's so fun. Least favorite in that I spend way too much time on it. But on a side note, I recently found out that with the iPhone, you can actually set limits to which apps you're using too much, and it'll send you an alert. So check that out in your settings. Very cool. On the flip side, our guest today, Alex, has mastered Instagram. He built his account at the.success.club to 818,000 followers, as well as his personal account at Visionwall to 187,000 followers. He is also the co-founder of Invigorate, which takes already successful people offline and displays their brand online through revolutionary technology. In short, the technology works by targeting a person's target audience and doing that on autopilot so that the business is constantly finding new people that are related to that person's ideal customer profile. On top of Alex's long list of accomplishments, he has taken part in some of the most exclusive masterminds with industry leaders. My entire life, people have told me connections are everything, and I truly believe that, and Alex is easily one of the most connected individuals that I know. On this episode, Alex speaks about 3 things you can do now to upgrade your Instagram brand, the process to become an overnight success, how to embrace the struggle so you can manufacture the epic story, and key lessons learned after building multiple companies. You know, I'm all about the good vibes here, and Alex is just a great example of that. It was an absolute joy to be able to pick his brain. Although I had to edit out some sequences due to poor internet, this episode crushed, and I highly recommend you share this with someone that's looking to build their brand on Instagram. You already know, our goal here is to spread the love and have you all making moves. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, what up, party people? We're live again, and we got the absolute magic. We got the man behind the vision wall, behind so many epic ideas, Alex Lombard. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for having me.
Dude, you are living the dream. Every time I see you, you are just this human that is just crushing it on all social media fronts. Such a positive person. What did it, how did you see yourself 2 years ago being where you're at right now?
Yeah, man. I mean, I have always kind of lived by the philosophy when I got into, even before entrepreneurship. I got started in the entrepreneur world like 6 years ago. But even before that, I've always kind of had this mindset of, I love the phrase life by design, because it really is true, and so, yeah, I mean, I was young, I was excited, to go do things. And I've always just really wanted 2 main things. And that was just freedom in the financial and the time category. A lot of people fight for those areas but I really wanted it. Like, I actually was like, I'm going to make this happen for my life because life's so short. I want the freedom to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want. But I also want the resources through, making money to be able to actually do those things fun. It's like, it ain't fun going on a Mexico trip when you're broke as a joke. It's a lot more fun when you can afford to do cool things. So yeah, man, absolutely. It's always kind of been in the head, and it's still, the vision's still growing and progressing every single day.
100%. And you've become a severe influencer in the world of growing credibility, specifically on Instagram, and being able to advise 7-8 figure income earners on building their social media brands. And it was cool because I was actually talking to Luke, and he was talking about how he had this breakthrough moment where he realized that based on all the work that he's been putting in, that he was now in a position where he had enough knowledge to offer enough value to people from all over doing this thing. And I think that's a major key that people sometimes think, oh, well, I can't mentor that person. I can't coach that person. That person's so much more above me or whatnot. And I see you and I see what you're doing in your progress, and you're just making moves, man. You learned a skill and you're teaching people how to do it. You're failing fast and you're learning as you go. So like, what did the OG early life look like? Where'd you go to school? Did you do anything with school? Like, can you tell me about that?
Yeah, definitely. So let me give you a quick backstory. So I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Excuse me, was brought to Michigan when I was in second grade with my family. Grew up in Michigan pretty much my entire life until just over a year ago when I moved out here to Scottsdale. But during that time in Michigan, which by the way was the best decision ever. But when I grew up in Michigan, man, when I was in school, I was just always the kid that was like looking for a way out. When I was in middle school and high school, I was all about the adventure, the experience, getting in trouble, running around, having fun, super hyper, just that kid. And I always would like think to myself, I'm like, man, I only got a few years left of this, and then I'm an adult. I'm in the real world. And I remember just having that feeling always on me, kind of like weighing me down, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. All my other friends are like, oh, I'm going to go pursue this career. And I'm like, man, I don't want to sit in an office. I don't want to do what my parents are doing. I don't want to do what any of my friends or parents are doing. Anyone in my circle, I'm like, I just don't want to do that, but I didn't really understand business. Obviously at the time, thought of, entrepreneur was somebody who owned a gas station or built invented a product. And although those are forms of entrepreneurship, of course, there's a lot more than just that. And so long story short, went to college because that's what I was told to do. Went to Eastern Michigan University. I literally went up to the counselor on the day of like signing and was like, hey, I don't really know what I want to do, but I love sports. Do you guys have anything revolving around sports? And she looked at me and she's like, well, actually, we just launched this brand new program called sports management. And I'm like, perfect, sign me up. No idea what it was, got into the program, had fun with it. It was cool. We just talked about ESPN every day, but soon realized I was spending a lot of money to talk about ESPN every day. And then, yeah, man, at 21 years old is when I got, introduced to kind of my first entrepreneurship. Vima, we can throw that out there. Obviously you were involved with that too. That's kind of what ignited everything. And that changed the entire course of my life, because it really was just the first time that I got introduced to a new way of thinking. And it made me realize that, hey, here's a way to go and make money. And one thing I forgot to say too is, during that process, like throughout high school and college, I kind of made up my mind that I wasn't really going to go down the normal traditional path. Right. So I was kind of forced to do something else.
So it's cool that you went down that road and it just kind of opened your mind. I mean, for me, that's what got me involved into my current startup with TrueFace. For you, that's what led to building this incredible business, helping influencers and all these things. So what after that whole experience went down? I mean, did you kind of have like a roadblock? Like what did those like the year after, say, Vima stopped, like where were you at mentally? And what was that first move towards like the next chapter?
Yeah, man. So when that all happened, we actually moved and went to a different company. So I was still completely sold on the industry. And actually I remember being, I was in so deep into personal development at that point that, I remember literally getting myself to be excited because I was like, this is a new chapter. I never made it to any massive ranks or anything. And I actually felt pretty blessed because I was half a rank away from getting the car. And then, when it went down, and I was just so grateful that I didn't get the car because that would have been really bad, And so yeah, we actually ended up moving to a different company in the space. Wasn't a fit at all. And then after that is when I actually took the first kind of break from the industry and started doing my own thing. I got into just like online marketing, like the basics, like funnel design and landing pages and email marketing and, things like that, and finding little affiliate offers that I could go promote and pay, with paid traffic. And I had a really good friend of mine and a business partner at the time as well, who was, doing that with me. And so there was a little gap there where I got into that space. And then I actually got involved with another company that we ended up starting up, a travel-based business, and did that for actually like a year and a half, which was back in the industry. And then after that, man, that's when, after that run is when we decided to, well, I personally decided to, fully transition and start up my own actual thing. And that's where we launched our company, Invigorate, the digital marketing agency. So, yeah, man, I mean, along that journey of kind of in and out of that space, I was learning, I was growing, I was building connections, in just the digital marketing world. And then it all kind of lined up where, a few years after doing that, and then obviously years and years of experience on Instagram specifically, decided to go full time and, build our own thing.
Hell yeah. That was with Tabu, right?
Yeah, Watabu. Yeah. That was great. That was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, you guys smashed that. Like, oh, I love those. I love the marketing and the video behind just the idea of bucket list adventures. And one thing that was really unique to your squad, the whole Michigan squad, is like you guys were so tight, so close. Yeah. And that's something I always envied about your group, is that you just were like such homies, like that stuck together through the thick and thin, and then went on to continue to grow and build. Too many people fall into the trap of like, oh, this business got shut down. Oh, I'm never going to be successful again. Yeah. Like, businesses come and go. That's life. You gotta learn, you gotta grow, you gotta take what you can and just try better. Can you tell us a little bit about what Watabu was all about and that experience and what you learned from it?
Yeah, man. So Watabu was really cool. Myself, Luke Hessler, Jamie Cheerio, Christian Jukes, and, Peter Unger, a bunch of other guys. Shout out to all of them. We started up this travel-based business. We partnered with Rob Sperry and Lance Conrad, big names in the industry, and started our own company. And it was called Watabu, which stood for Worth Talking About. And the whole idea was really just to center around the younger generation. And like you said, that bucket list lifestyle, to really create, moments, experiences, memories that people could remember for the rest of their lives, and it was the whole point was to create an experience so impactful in your life that it literally was worth talking about. And then you'd go share it on your social media and you talk about it in that moment. But then obviously down the road, I mean, even, years later, we're still talking about some of those things. And so that was kind of the whole vision with it and the whole mission with it. And man, it attracted some amazing people, people that to this day are some of my best friends because they joined my team in that business. And it was just such a blast. We were able to, do a lot of traveling and do a lot of adventures, and that was what was so cool about it. It was like, if you're, I know a lot of your listeners are in that space and you go to these conventions and they're cool. They're fun. You learn a lot, whatever. But like our style wasn't like, hey, let's go sit in a room and listen to a bunch of speakers. It was, hey, let's go rent a houseboat with 100 people.
Is that you guys are at 600 plus customers. You guys are crushing it. Tell us about the experience with building the brand. How has kind of Invigorate, how did it start and kind of where is it today and what have you learned from that?
Yeah, man. So it started because I approached actually Luke and Jamie with the idea of starting originally like an Instagram company. I like I said, I've been on Instagram for pretty much the whole journey as well for like 6 years, so I've worked with a lot of names in the space and I've just worked with a lot of high level people in general just over the years. And so I met a few people on Instagram that had, resources and I had resources and we were kind of collaborating, and I brought that package to Jamie and Luke and was like, hey guys, we could really make some money with this. And, and there's a lot of value here. I really do believe that people would pay for this and receive a lot of value. And so that's kind of how it started. We literally I brought that to them. We got, did a meeting, we had a whiteboard and just kind of drew it all out, and had figured out who was all going to be involved and what it looked like, whatever. And the whole goal with it, and really even to this day, was we really wanted to separate ourselves from other people in the space, and the fact that we really truly wanted to provide the best results possible for higher level individuals, and so our goal wasn't to go launch these packages that reached the masses and, just run the numbers. It was, how can we get in front of 6, 7, 8 figure earners and provide so much value that they're willing to pay us this dollar amount, and so that's kind of what we did. It started just as Instagram. And then, like you said, between us and our partners, strategic partners we have in play, there's over 600 brands that we've been blessed enough to, manage, many of which are in the network marketing profession. And, almost all are, again, just, high level individuals in various industries. And then really the journey of it, it's evolved from just like an Instagram company to now where we're really pushing out like digital marketing, right? So Instagram is a piece of that, but there's so much more to that space, right? And so kind of where we're at right now is, and where we're going into the future, the near future, is you have like the two sides. Luke may have talked about this with you as well, but you have like the two ends of the company. Number one is, small and medium-sized businesses, and just helping them like enhance their overall online footprint, right? So taking a restaurant and helping them get reviews, rank up on Google, run Facebook ads, things like that. And then the other side of the business, which is where I spend most of my time and most of my energy, is the influencer creation process. And that's really just taking somebody who, in the real world actually has success as an influential individual. If it's a network marketer, they're doing well, they have a massive organization, they're speaking on stages, things like that. And then helping them take that influence that they have in that little circle and expand it through a personal brand online. And Instagram is kind of the starting point and the basics of that, but we've been able to expand and, do so much more. And so that's kind of what it is, man. And a few things I've learned from it is, number one, you really do just get whatever you put your energy and focus into, right? Because prior to that, my focus was trying to convince broke college kids of how to pay me a few $100, right? And then I switched my focus from that to how can I get in front of 7-figure earners? And then it was like, boom, fast forward a year later and I have hundreds of clients that are literally multimillionaires. Like, how does that even happen? It's because I put my focus there, right? So that really opened up my eyes. And then the second thing I would say is that, just, I guess like the delayed gratification, right? We've heard that a lot, but like when you really are building your own thing, it is a process, man. It really is. Like it was a lot harder to go from zero to building a brand and a company and have clients and have a payroll and, a CFO and all this stuff. Where, my background was in the network marketing profession where all that's kind of done for you. Right. And so that learning curve definitely was a challenge. And we realized, that there's just a lot more moving parts and a lot more pieces at the beginning that you have to really run with. And then you start to see and reap the benefits down the road. And so, and I mean, that goes for everything, but this was just, a little bit different than anything I've ever done. So yeah, man, I mean, I could go on and on, but that's some of the things that, we're doing and, where we're looking to go.
It's cool because when you meet these influencers and you meet these people, you end up going down a rabbit hole you have no idea about.
When I got involved in Instagram, my number one goal literally was to learn how to make money by posting cool content through like motivational and inspirational quotes, right? So that's like what I got involved with. I started seeing people that were doing that and they were making money. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I had this like epiphany where I realized that Instagram really is just like a digital billboard that you get to control. And, it's just a billboard. And so what you put out there, people are going to see that. And if you learn how to market and curate that content the right way and you have good offers and you build a brand, people will actually start giving you money for whatever it is you're selling. And so, that's kind of how it all started. And at the very, very beginning, it literally started because I wanted to recruit people for my business, but still same idea of a digital billboard, And so, yeah, man, I mean, to be real, the Success Club is an account that is just, it's booming. And there's really two big things with it. Number one, it allows me to, reach out obviously to a massive audience of people and share whatever kind of content I want. And then number two is it's leverage, right? It's credibility. And I use that. Like if I want to connect with somebody really big, like an Ed Milet, for example, I'm going to shoot him a DM from that account because when he sees it, he's like, wow, this guy's legit, And so, the credibility with it's absolutely insane, man. And I think people just, there's like that, I know there's a lot of them out there, but there's like that top, like 1% of those type of style of pages, that produce like the motivational, content. And I was able to, get into there. And so that's kind of what that account's all about, a little bit more on the business side of things, kind of a money maker, super fun to be a part of it and, connect with people. And then the other account, Visionwall, is actually where I originally started. And that was the same kind of style, but as of 2019, I rebranded it to myself. So now it's my personal brand. It's my journey. It's really the whole goal of it is kind of two things. Number one, I want to document my life for my own selfish sake, because I just think it's cool to like look back and be like, oh man, when I did that trip, and that, and show my kids, it's like, it's so cool. And then the other side of it is, I want to provide value, right? I don't claim to be like an expert or some guru or anything like that. I just want to provide value of things that I've learned. And so I try to do that, in the form of captions and stories and, and things like that, man. So it's just really just sharing my journey and, kind of living this life the way that I want to live it and get other people to, see that it's possible for them too.
And you're so good at it. You're so good at documenting the journey. You know, that's
Appreciate
something
that.
that some people struggle with, being able to show the authenticness of the journey. They're always trying to show the highlights, but they're not just showing the downs, you know, and
Right.
that's really what most people are facing. The world's crazy. And if you're able to document that and show people that you are real, which is essentially how you got yourself to stand out throughout this whole journey, is because you've been real, you've been authentic, and people respond to that. And it's just incredible at what happens when you're consistent over a long period of time and you just keep it 300. So hell yeah, bro.
Absolutely, man.
What about for the people that like say, you know, they're not using, say, your particular software, which I personally use and I love, big proponent of, everybody, just throwing it out there. But what are your, you know, some things that you think that the average just starting an Instagram account, what are the 3 biggest mistakes that someone makes on Instagram? And what are, like, you know, I know that people talk about hashtags, or, you know, are a typical good way to get discovered, and using influencers to comment and stuff. But what do you think are like the 3 biggest mistakes or things you'd recommend to someone that they can just transform their own personal Instagram branding as of right now?
Yeah, sure, man. Good question. So, number one would be your bio. When I do trainings on Instagram to people, I always start with the bio, because the bio is your first impression, right? When somebody comes to your account, they see your bio before they see your content. And so whatever they read there and see there is going to create that initial first impression, you know, and then I like to say they go into your content closes the deal of getting a follower. And so your bio needs to be sexy. It needs to be structured a proper way, right? And so the example I always give is, you know, what's called a flow bio, and I won't dive too deep into it, but basically it's just the idea of kind of having your bio set up in like a bullet point list formation, where it's like you have like a buzzword or a key phrase that's like here, and then it's like boom, 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 and it just goes down. Because what happens is people come over, and then what they're looking for is, are you valuable enough? Are you worth the follow, right? That's what we think, right? And so when someone comes over to your account and they see your bio, they need to know that, hey, you know, this guy or girl is legit. You know, they're doing things that I want to do. They're traveling the world. They're making money. They're, you know, passionate about this or that. They're excited about this or that. They stand for this or that, whatever it is that you're all about. And being authentic plays a role in the entire thing. But, you know, putting out there what you're all about, what you've done, what you've accomplished to an extent, but just setting it up properly so that it's kind of like people come over and their eyes literally just like flow down into your content. So that'd be the first thing, is like optimizing your bio. The second thing I would give people advice on, in what most people do wrong, is truly their content. You know, it's crazy, man. Like I'll get on the phone with, you know, some multimillionaire that's, you know, crushing it in business, and they want help with their Instagram, and I go to their account and it's like, you know, we just have this kind of like perception that like, oh, this person's, you know, killing it over here, so they must just be really good at absolutely everything. And I go to their Instagram account and I'm like, you're literally posting blurry pictures of your dog. Like this isn't going to work, you know? And so content is king when it comes to Instagram, right? I mean, obviously like that's what it is. It's an imagery first application, but so many people miss that. And when I say content is king, it kind of is like a twofold. Like, number one, your content actually does need to look good. It needs to be clean. It needs to be sharp. It needs to be vibrant. You don't have to live a filtered lifestyle, but make sure you're taking good photos.
Like provide value, and people will come to you. Attraction marketing, it's the new wave. It's crazy, like just looking at in the direct sales world, how things have changed. You know, for us personally, it's always, in the past, was always about doing home events, having tons of people over to your house. Now everything we do is online, you know, using systems where it's like